How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video on this channel. We're back again and we're going to be doing a predictions video. I'm joined by Taylor.
Sup?
That's just going to be a usual thing on this channel now. We are going to have some guests on along the way, but until then we're just going to be us two speaking. So before this video starts, I just want to say, as Southend supporters, I don't want to make it out as if we are biased. If we did put your team in a position where you're not happy with, we're not going to be
critical.
Yeah, we're not going to be critical of your choice. But if you do want to put your predictions down below, make sure to do that. But yeah, let's get on to our predictions.
So in 24th place, I have gone for Tranmere Rovers. They have obviously just been promoted last season, but I don't really think they're going to do very well. I don't think they can adapt to life in League One.
They've just sold their best striker.
They sold their best striker whilst going into a higher division, which is obviously a big blow. So I just think they're going to go straight back down.
I put Bury in 24th, mainly because hasn't their manager just left their club?
I think so.
I think their manager's just left their club and they're not going to cope with what's happened in the past few weeks with them just being promoted. And yeah, I put Bury in 24th.
Their manager did depart the club.
Yeah, well, let's move on to 23rd to 21st. Sort out the relegation.
Right, 23rd I have gone with Bury, which is just pretty much the same reason as Owen. They've just lost their manager and I don't really think they're going to perform, not going to lie. You can't just get rid of your manager at an end of a season going into a higher division. It just won't work.
Yeah, they won't cope. I put Tranmere. I think they'll do better than Bury, but not better than the teams above them. I just think their team is not good enough to cope with the higher division, and losing their best striker who scored so many goals last season, it's just going to be difficult to cope with it unless they bring in another striker with the money which they received from him. Then yeah, I think they'll do better, but until then we don't know what's going to happen.
So in 22nd I have gone Wycombe Wanderers. I think last season they overachieved. Obviously they beat us on the third to last game and managed to get survival, which I thought was really unfortunate on us. We just didn't have a good game, and overall I just think they overachieved. Obviously Akinfenwa signed another year deal, which is obviously good for them, but I think he'll depart the club next season and they'll go down.
Well, I've put, if I can remember, I put Wycombe. Yeah, same with you. I don't think they've got the capability of staying up. Their fans are always saying that they scrape by with staying up. I don't think they've got the mentality or the strength in the side to really stay up this year. 21st I put AFC Wimbledon. Again, they finished 20th last season. I don't think they'll cope this year. They just about stayed up with +3 goal difference to Plymouth, so I just don't think they've got the strength in their side to really stay up this year, and they got very lucky.
I put Rochdale as my 21st place, purely because I think they obviously got very lucky to beat us away from home. We had good support away from home that game. Shouldn't have lost. Bad decision from the line out. Should have been a draw, and they only finished 3 points ahead of us after we've had a manager gone and multiple injuries.
I think we were definitely better in that game, and I think they will definitely go down there. Well, I actually know.
They might not go down.
They might not go down. I think they're going to finish in 20th this season, just staying above the relegation zone. Of course, as we said, they didn't have a great. The finish of the season, they had an alright finish to the season, but you can't rely on end results at the end of the season. You can't scrape by. Of course, Southend scraped, but that was because our manager, we sacked it in March. I can't really say it. Chris Powell, we sacked him, and we didn't have a great season. But I think we'll definitely do better with Kevin Bond, and yeah, Rochdale I put in 20th.
I have gone for Owen's 21st place of AFC Wimbledon for 20th, purely because they came 20th last season, and I don't think they're going to do any better this season. just purely because of the way they played.
I don't know. I've put Shrewsbury as 19th. They finished 18th last season, place above Southend with 52 points. But I just don't know. I think a few seasons back they were bound to get relegated. They've always been like a team which is like been down there. They're a very unpredictable side, and you can't really predict where they can finish. Like this season as well with Southend, it was very unpredictable. We thought we were going to be quite high in the table, and again this year I think we'll finish quite high in the table, but we have to find out until that position.
For my 19th, I also went with Shrewsbury, just purely because of the same reason Owen said. They've got no predictability. They haven't signed anyone yet that I know of, and I don't think they're going to look to sign anybody of any strength. So I reckon they'll be 19th and possibly in a relegation battle. For 18, I have gone for MK Dons, who have just been promoted. I think they did well to get promoted last season, and obviously they've got to adapt to life in League One. So I reckon they'll stay up and stay in 18th place.
Yeah, I put 18th, MK Dons. Same with you. They've got the capability of staying up. I think they're a good side. You know, they've got the stadium. I think they've got the money, and I think their youth is good as well. So I think generally they'll stay up this season. And same with Accrington, 17th place. I think they really overperformed last season. I don't think they deserve to be in that 14th place. I think they'll finish in that 17th place spot, and I don't think they've signed anyone really.
For 17th, I've put Oxford, who came 12th, which is obviously quite weird of me putting them so low down, but from the way they played, they still ended up with more losses than wins last season and 15 draws. So they obviously don't play particularly good football. They just obviously got lucky with the games that they've won, and I reckon they won't do as well this season with the teams that have come down from the Championship. Can take them on with better games, and they won't do as well.
Okay, let's go for 16th now. I've put Gillingham. They finished in 13th last season, which is quite a surprise really. They finished with 15 wins, 10 draws. Of course, it's not great in League One, but I think they've got the strength this year. They've just signed someone, I think, and I think they've got the strength to stay up. Finishing 16th, not a bad season last year, but 16th is a decent place for them.
For 16th, I went with Lincoln City, who have just been promoted. They obviously did well, just as well as MK Dons to be promoted, and they've obviously just got our ex left back Ben Coker,
that's a really
which is a loss on us, and he's obviously a good player. But obviously, I think he could have gone to a better team, you know. But I still think they're going to finish well into the bottom half of the table in 16th place.
Yeah, definitely. For 15th, I put us, Southend United. I don't think we'll finish above that area, mainly because last season we just stuck by it, and the team squad depth right now in certain areas is not great. We've signed a new striker, as we said in last video. I don't think that's strengthened our side at all, and I can't see us finishing above that area. I think we're going to struggle. Not as bad as last year. I think we're going to start off quite bad, and then progress quite higher up in the table. But yeah, 15th I think is a moderate place to put us, considering last season.
15th I put Accrington Stanley, who finished 14th last season. So I think they're not really going to improve this season and just go one place less.
You go
For 14th, I've gone for newly relegated team Bolton Wanderers, purely because the way they was playing at the end of the season was an absolute joke. You can't play like that in a championship. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I forgot. Is it them who's starting off with minus 10 points?
Possibly, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Purely because of how their players acted. They didn't even want to turn up for games.
That's mainly because their owner can pay for them. I think that's what it is.
And their poor fans obviously shouldn't be treated that way, but that's just the way their club's gone. And I honestly think they're going to end up in 14th.
For 14th, I'm going to put Bolton. Same with you. I just don't think they're going to cope this season. and it's going to be difficult to their players to progress in the league and really start the season with flying colours and go throughout the season. I think their fans are going to be optimistic. I think their fans are going to be like, yeah, we're going to finish in the promotion spots. After last season, I generally can't see it. They're going to start with minus 10 points. They're going to start off trying to battle against that, and I just can't see their players doing it. And until then, I just can't see them progressing anywhere past 14th place.
And in 13th place, I've gone for Blackpool. Last season, I believe they ended up in 10th with 17 draws. So obviously they're hanging on to 17 of their 46 points from draws, which obviously isn't good. And I don't think they're going to improve this season, and I think they're probably going to get worse.
Yeah, well, I've put newly promoted side Lincoln City in 13th with the signing of left back Ben Coker. I see them strengthening their side even more with the promotion. I think their players are going to be happy that they got promoted, and it's going to drive them on to do better things this season. So 13th place, I genuinely think that's a good place for them to be in, and it's mid-table, and their fans are going to be happy with that, because I think this is the furthest they've been in any competition or league. So 13th place for Lincoln City.
I need to make a correction on how many points Blackpool have got. They did get 62, which is obviously quite impressive, but 17 points of that is still just hanging on by a thread in it. You take away 17 points from that, they're in a relegation battle.
Well, for 12th place, we're going to move on to now. I put Bristol Rovers. They did finish in 15th last season. I don't know what it is, but I think they're going to finish 12th. Mid-table, I think the bottom half is going to be going to be tough to, between 12th and down to 20th. It's going to be, tight again this season. But yeah, I think they'll finish 12th this season. Have they even signed a new one?
Don't know. Well, for my 12th pick, I have gone for Southend, because I feel at the start of last season we were playing really good football with pretty much the same team that we've still got, minus Ben Coker, which is obviously, if we can get a replacement for him, I reckon we could be playing the same football again. And I think with the attack we've got now, we've got one of the most deadly attacks in the league. But it's just our midfield controlling the area which we lose out on. So if we can sign maybe a central midfielder and a left back and possibly a centre back, I reckon we should be able to achieve 12th.
I don't know. I think we'll do better this season, but I think Kevin Bond has to treat it encourage them to start the season off well. Pre-season's got to be essential to really push on to better things this season. 12th place is a good place to be, but I think 15th as well. Anywhere between there I'll be happy this season, definitely. But yeah, there's better teams in the league than us at the moment. Bristol Rovers, have signed a new player in Josh Hare. I don't know much about him, but as long as they keep their squad depth, I think definitely they'll stay in 12th position.
For my 11th place, I've gone for Bristol Rovers. I think last season they did get quite unlucky with how they were playing and some of their injuries. Obviously they've signed their new player, and I think they should perform better this season.
In 11th I put Oxford United. Their team is they've got a good team, and they did get 12th, so I think 11th place is definitely an improvement for them to take this year. A few of the results didn't go their way, but generally a good place for them is 11th. Let's move on to 10th then. Go on, Taylor.
For my 10th, I've gone for Gillingham. They played well last season, and I've seen I think they've just signed a new winger. Is it? Possibly. I'm pretty sure they signed someone, and he looks quite good, and I reckon he'll bring a lot of squad depth to them. And obviously we've got them in pre-season, and obviously we can test our ability against them in pre-season, because they should be the type of team we're competing with in the league for the mid-table spots. So if we can get off and running from that point, I reckon we could compete just as well as Gillingham will.
Well, for 10th, I put Fleetwood. They had a fantastic season last year. I don't know whether the Fleetwood fans would be saying it's a fantastic season, but generally with their squad, I think 11th place is a good place to be. Oh, 10th place is a good place to be next season. 11th place is, again, very good, but yeah, their squad is very good, and I think if they sign a couple more players, they'll definitely get above 10th place, but we're not seeing that at the moment, and I generally think they'll get 10th next season.
Going into 9th place, I've gone for Fleetwood. Obviously, last year I think they did quite well. Came 11th, I believe. Yeah, 11th, and obviously it's above halfway in the table, and I think they're going to get some improvements into their squad, and they'll be able to compete higher up in the table, going towards those playoff places, and start getting back into business.
Yeah, well, 9th now. I put Peterborough. Now, last season, Peterborough finished 7th. Now, don't get me wrong, Peterborough are a good side, and I can see that. But with the teams who have just come down or come up, I generally think it will be tough for them to really push on to better things. 9th would have got them 63 points, and they got 72 last season. Can I say they overperformed? Not really, because 20 wins is very, very good, and they just missed out on the playoffs. Now, 9th place, Peterborough, I just think that's a suitable place for them.
In 8th place, I have gone for Burton, and I think they'll do just one place higher than last season, where they came in 9th. Obviously, Southend did beat them towards the end of the season, which was quite crucial in keeping us up. And I think we did that purely because of the desire of the players wanting to keep us up.
Yeah.
But I think they're a good side, and I reckon they'll be in 8th place this season.
Yeah, well, I went for the same Burton, same reasons. Don't really need to go over much. Burton going in 8th.
For 7th, I went for Rotherham, who I believe just came down from the Championship. They're a good side. I can't see them going in the bottom half of the table, and I reckon they'll be fighting for those playoff places again, trying to get back up into the Championship, because they got a good side, and they play some good football, so I reckon they can get up.
I went for the same, Rotherham in 7th. Don't think that I'm going for the same as him. We just went for what we thought, and I went for 7th for Rotherham. We've got a good side, as he said. I don't think they'll get promoted, because relegation is very hard to take in, and it's going to be hard to fight back. Look at what Sunderland did. They did get into the playoffs, but they didn't get promoted. But I do think that Rotherham will finish 7th.
In my 6th place, I have gone for Coventry. They came 8th last season, which is obviously they're performing well, and I can see them going for getting in the playoff places this season and potentially getting promotion.
Well, again, I put Coventry 6th. New stadium for them. Well, not new stadium, but moving into a stadium, because they couldn't own their old stadium. They've got a good squad, strong squad, 8th position, as you said. I think they'll definitely strive at the new stadium. Got a good team, maybe add a couple more players to their squad, and I definitely think they'll get promoted into the playoffs this season. Do I think they'll win it? No, I don't think they'll get promoted, but playoffs is still a good place to finish.
In 5th, I think Peterborough United. Obviously, they came 7th last season. It's good.
Yeah, it's a good place.
They were one place out of the playoffs, and obviously they were only 1 point out, which obviously they're performing well, and I reckon they will get into the playoffs this season, definitely.
Well, for my 5th place, I put Doncaster. Once again, strong squad. They finished in 6th. They showed that they can do it. They beat Southend at the start of our season 3-2. They were 3-1 up. They showed their quality, and they showed what the team, and they've showed what their ambitions were for last season. I definitely think they'll strive again, and I think they'll finish in 5th this season, definitely.
For fourth, I've gone for Doncaster. Obviously, they did brilliant last season. They were unlucky not to go up, losing in the playoffs. And I reckon I'm going to predict this season that they will get promoted through the playoff, and that's why I've got them in fourth.
Well, Taylor's put this team completely down the table. I put Blackpool fourth. Reason for this, they've completed the transfer of owners, and I do believe that the owners will pump money into the squad. I think they'll finish fourth, but do I think they'll go up through the playoffs? I don't think so. I think they'll probably finish in the playoff final, but I don't think they'll go up this season. They've got a fantastic squad. They showed their quality against us in that 2-1 win. I think they were playing just for the fans though, because there was a lot of fans turned up because they've got their new owner. But no, I think they'll finish in fourth this season, definitely.
In third place, I've gone for Ipswich, who are obviously a big club and just got relegated. But obviously they've got a strong side, and I reckon they will be up in the table. But I reckon they'll get to the playoff final, but they won't win it, and they will come third, and I reckon they'll stay in League One for another season.
Well, in third place I've gone for Ipswich, mainly because they've just been relegated. They've got the strongest side in the whole of the League One this season. You could say that Sunderland and Portsmouth had the good. No. You could say that Sunderland and Portsmouth had the best teams in this league, but I generally think that Ipswich do, because they've got young talent, they've got a good squad, and I think they'll get promoted for the playoffs this season. Yeah, that's my third place, Ipswich.
In second, I've gone for Sunderland, who obviously got to the playoff final this year and were unlucky to lose. But then, I say unlucky, but then they did play really terrible in that second half.
Bad.
And you know, if you want to go back up, you got to play with more desire. And a lot of their fans were saying, "Oh, this is the bottle league," and said they would go straight back up, and obviously they haven't.
I think their fans are very
arrogant.
arrogant.
Their fans are very arrogant, and then obviously we beat them on the last day of the season.
Then again, we had to win to stay up. The players wanted to stay up, and that's mainly why we won. But yeah, I think same Sunderland, second place. I think they'll go up. I think they're gonna strive after last season. They've got a good, strong squad. They didn't put out their main squad against us. But yeah, I think second is a moderately good place for them this season.
And in first place, to win the title, I have gone for Portsmouth, who had a very strong season last year. Came fourth, very unlucky not to go up. Just like Sunderland, were very unlucky. Obviously, Portsmouth didn't get to the final, whereas Sunderland did, but I feel like Portsmouth should have, and I reckon they're going to go on this year to win the whole thing.
And in first place I've gone for the same, Portsmouth, mainly because they've got a strong squad. Jamal Lowe, do I think he will stay at them? Yes. They did have an unlucky end of the season. Few results didn't go their way, and you know, you could say the fans were saying that they were not unlucky to go up because their squad was not good enough to go up. I think if they bring in the good players this season, I definitely think they'll go up in first place. They finished the season not too well, but yeah, I definitely think they'll go up this season and definitely win League One.
So that's it for our prediction video. If you like, leave a comment down below saying what you thought we did wrong or who you think's going to finish where, and we'll obviously reply to a few of them, or all of them probably.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing some more videos before the season starts. We're going to the Millwall game at home, so we'll probably do our first vlog there.
Definitely.
And obviously, if you want to do that, you need to subscribe and put that bell icon on.
So yeah, until then, we've been SUFC Vlogs, and we'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye.